Year number 2018, month number 6, day number 20. Welcome to the Money Charts channel. Let's talk about short-term markets against the US dollar. It was something I've been wanting to do for several days, and I want to wait for good setups to possibly play for short-term and see if it's worth doing it more aggressively on Binance. Now, when you look at this move in here, where in here did this say you wanted to play? Now, technically speaking, if you like this setup in here, the break of resistance, and you held, well, that's worked. With all these markets having these up and down moves, I still think the best way of playing this is just play the buy and sell order game. Because when these moves happen, they happen. And thus you have all of these sell orders that can fill. I mean, it's just a buy order or two, and a sell order or two, and a buy order or two, a sell order or none, because if you were doing two, you might get one here, and maybe none. A few buy orders here, and now we're doing sell orders. That's, to me, still seeming like the ideal way of doing such. So I'm looking to either find traditional setups, which would be, oh, let's look for a breakout here, or let's look at this, let's place a stop here, all that type of stuff. Or what type of markets within Binance. And there's Ripple on the bottom here. I'll look at the TUSD, the USD, but I don't think I'm going to do anything there. Take a look at all of these different codes. Codes only for the short-term time frame, and 15 minutes will work well. And ADA will be the first one that we'll look at, which looks very similar to the Bitcoin chart. It's in at 16 cents, and we're seeing a lot of the wild up and down moves the same way. So the best way to profit from these is to put the buy and sell orders. Now, if I'm playing it short-term, Bitcoin is so not that volatile. So I'm probably going to do away with that. I'm going to see if I see anything on the short term, and then decide most likely I'm going to end it saying I'm probably going to just put small buy and sell orders on whatever the codes happen to be. I think one's going to be Tron. I'll explain that when I get there. And just play like short term. See if I have, say, as an example here, if I get a buy order here hit, say here and here, I'd be buying at 16.3 and 16.0. That's a difference of only 2%. I don't know if I want to settle for such low numbers. So I want to look at different codes. Maybe there's some great ones that are out there as I end up going through the list. Now, Bitcoin Cash was next on the list. And we're seeing the same sort of rallies. So in a spot here, we're seeing it go from 838 to 900. 8%, that's satisfactory when looking for the moves. Again, we look at the sideways consolidation. Was there really anything on here to tell you that this move is going to happen? Now, one of the things that was interesting when you look at this, you look at this high, and then it makes a higher high. It makes both a higher and a lower low. Higher from this point, but lower from this area. And then we make this other lower low, but it's lower to this area, which is key. And now this higher high. So and this is common amongst, I see so often in the silver and gold and Forex markets, where before a good move, you're going to have a fake to the opposite direction. We've seen it here. This move here, a little bit there. So just, I find that interesting. Let's move on to the next on the list, which will be Binance, BNB. And on its 15-minute, it's not doing quite as well. However, it's got this interesting level here. I think a horizontal ray will fit the bill just fine. Right around here. There's been a lot of action here. Key point. Twice here. A little bit of support here, not much. Resisting it on the leg lower. The first level of resistance, and this is all you had for that leg lower. The comeback to this point. Nice correction, because it fills a little bit of this empty space. It broke a little bit below the 18, but it's recaptured it really quickly. The next test now is just come in with this, in this level. And now I'm looking at a situation where it's now correcting again. And this is going to be the big one. I see it a little bit red down. Ooh, is this a good time to buy? Is this going to be going down? Oh, it could be either or. I think what I'd like to see for something like this is if you play a break above here, for it to come down and spend some time here, and then start to put a break above. If you make a wager or go long somewhere as it's momentuming higher at around 16.2, hoping that this works out, that you can have some support developed in this area, thus stop loss area would come at around 15.92. So then you'd be playing the risk reward game of 8 cents to the top and then plus another 17, so 23 cents, about a 1.5% risk. And you're looking to make a move that should at least come into this area here, even here. So 1660, 1620, we're looking at about a little over 2%. I'm not too enthusiastic about those odds. So let's look at the next play. It's not Bitcoin because we've already looked at that. It would be EOS. And it's had that nice little move on the 15-minute time frame as well. Key resistance, roughly around here. So it's an interesting spot to try to put a buy order in for, because it's either going to be that failed breakout in here, or this would be where successful support would be. If you're in that stop game again, you'd entry buy order area would be about 1035. Stopping at about 1018. If you want to go a bit more aggressive, you'd be doing more than 1% now. Where would this have the potential to go? Well, it's been very choppy, and that's something I'm not a big fan of already as far as trading in this method. Just by looking at it in this form. Let's maybe look at the 2 or 3 hour time frame. I got the 3 easy, so we'll do that. And you're in that higher low symmetrical triangle sort of formation just amongst this area in here. And that's something I don't want to just try to pick away in and buy and sell into such. I want to get a little more confirmation. Now this is a situation when if I look at just putting in buy orders in here, the duration of time for this would be, or is, from May the 28th. So I'm looking at 3 to 4 weeks. How profitable is it to do things like, well, let's just say you had a sell order here at, say, 14 mid, and then you buy it back here at 13 mid. That's like 7%. I mean, really, that's decent. And if you play for 3% moves, it's like buy order, buy order, buy order, buy order, buy order. Again, the problem for me wanting to do this is I want to do this, but I want to wait for the capitulation to come to an end. Because if I just start doing this, what I might notice would happen is if Bitcoin goes from 6K, of course, lower, that I'll have something like 50 buys and maybe something like 17 sells, and I would have been better off just waiting. That's one of the things that I think of if I want to get into this type of game where I'm just buying and selling on these intervals. Let's move on to the next one. The next one would be that of Ethereum Classic. And as I load this chart in the same time frame I left off with on EOS, it's got a nice little interesting power 3-hour time frame. Pattern, yes. Obviously this support came back to where it came from. And now this established resistance is just leaving this 18 average band right now, so that's pretty darn near cool. We can see a nice little setup in here. Now the 15-minute time frame is where I want to focus on, and it's overextended on such. So for me, I think it might be a good idea to play it because I already have ETC on Binance. I can just say, you know what, I can, instead of trading this against BNB, I could consider trading it here. And when I look at this again on the 3-hour time frame, I think the best bet for me, and I'm going to do this actually, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to play Fibonacci upside. That's what I'm going to play. I got a high at 1595, I'm going to round it to. So let me get my calculator in. And I got a low. This is the correctionary move. I'm looking for an uptrend, which is from, well, everything up here from this low. And I'm looking for the uptrend of a price correction, which is to this low. And it's in at $14.71.5. Up target, $16.76. So what I'm going to be doing, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to put a sell order in for around 1676. And then if it sells, I'll look to buy it back and keep trading this against the US dollar. Next up is Ethereum, and its 3-hour time frame has another interesting pattern. I like this. I like it. You have this low, and then this area of multiple hit support, and there's the break of this resistance field in here. So thus, it's found support at this area of previous resistance, and its price moved from this high to this low, spending 3 periods, this 4th one, into the 18 average of band, leaving it within this period. And I can already see, just by looking at this is a very, very, very big level that this is having, which gives very good potential for price action to have a decent leg higher. I want to look at this on multiple time frames, and I'm sure it's, we'll just go like this. This is for price target. Now, generally speaking, in a spot like this, you'd have to, I think, that this is looking to make it to its next key congestion area between 575, even closer to 580 as a conservative level, up to the 610 point. And I know in the daily time frame, it's been like Bitcoin again. It's doing much, much better than such. I mean, if you look at to a degree, it's got a lot of extra volatile moves. But yeah, at least it's at the 18 average of highs. It's still in an overall downtrend, which in a spot like this, it's at an area you'd expect it to curve over down for me, because you have this move in here down into the band here. Now it's in here, and then I'd be looking for the curvature like this, and that of a bear market. And for a bull market, I would prefer to see extended period in this 18 average where I can see it flatten out and give me a good setup. So let's now go to the short term, which I've been planning on looking at do I really want to do any trading here against such? I even already have Ethereum on Binance, and I'm trading it against Dash. I'm going to show you why in a bit. I'm not going to do anything on this as of now against the dollar, but I'll show you what I'm seeing on here on Dash Ethereum. Okay, I'm looking to, I own Ethereum. I'm looking to buy Dash. I got buy orders in for it. That's what the play is. Do you see it? Yeah, I got buy orders in. That's what I'm doing with Ethereum. I got buy orders to buy Dash with Ethereum on this exchange. I'm not changing this play. Next up is ICX, and I have no idea what this code really is, so it's going to be fun to look at something that's $2.10. I like that already, although that only plays a little bit as far as its price. You could have lower volatile moves on something that's $4 compared to another code that's $50, but let's take a look at ICX. And this is called Icon. Of course, I mean, I knew that. That was 4 seconds ago, I knew that, but not 29 seconds ago. Double bottom, which is basically a reverse U, V shape formation. So we got two of them. The neckline was between $2.92 or 2092 and 2021. So it's at that neckline area there. You get a lot of these up and down choppy moves. So I was looking at the volatility here. You're looking at going from $2.02 to $2.06. It's pretty much standard with all the other codes as far as it's got very common volatility. Very choppy when you just look at this moving up and down as such is. 3-hour time frame. Symmetrical, symmetrical, symmetrical. I want no part of this right now. But hey, it's on the watch list, I guess. IOTA next on the list. And we're seeing more further momentum within this. Same sort of chart. As far as its volatility, this thing went from $1.26 to $1.11. Is it showing a lot of choppy action as well on the last week or so? Choppiness in a downtrend because we're seeing a lot of these lower highs. Situation here where you had matching highs, but it's nowhere near there. That is definitely a price target though. So I look at $1.22, $1.23, we're looking at about 5%. Now I don't own any of this. This makes it very difficult. See all these other codes like Ethereum, I know I got them. Next up is Litecoin. I already got Litecoin on there. So I can already enter into sale positions. And I'm really going to have a difficult time buying. Now, as far as the stop loss game here, there's already major established support here, which means stop loss below there. Even stop loss below here. So you're looking at placing a stop right now at $1.10. I'd be looking for a retracement back down to this area for which it came from. So if we have that, a retracement, I'd be looking at that at around $1.13. Stop loss at $1.10 and change. You're looking at a couple percent of a loss. Reward within this sale is like 122 to 113. You're looking at about a 7% move. I'll put that on the maybe, but I doubt I will. There's always a spot. Do I want to buy now and then go for the big gains? What you could do is even put a shorter term time frame. Look at the 3 minutes and put a stop under the current loss. Oh, I don't know if I want to stop under 115. We're still looking at a, no, I'm not going to do too much within this one. As far as more of a little bit of a longer term perspective is concerned on this. This I'll do daily. Yeah, I don't want to be any part of this on the long side. It's still well below this 18. It's been at this area of support for quite some time. I wouldn't want to be a buyer on this until around 93 cents at this previous low. Thus, if you're playing buy orders going lower, I'd start buying here maybe. But like I stated, I really want to go very aggressive on this game for bigger gains for a bigger loss, meaning 3,000 Bitcoin. So I'm not going to do anything here. Not now. Litecoin on the 15-minute time frame. That's why you would place sell orders. I mean, if you got it, you got it. It wasn't the greatest of gains. You're looking at like 20%. But it's immediate buyback. I've actually got a very good trade. Like minutes and hours, maybe an hour or two, into me playing orders into Binance. But like a lot of these other coins, Litecoin on the 15-minute time frame having its push going from 95 to 98. And again, looking at this is just making me just say, don't go on to tradition. Just keep my game plan going. Just put buy and sell orders in. Because if you're playing the short-term game here, 102, and you're literally going on a % or two move. And this is very difficult to organize because you have to have a lot of percentage moves. To a degree, because I'm going to go to my second strategy. But you're going to get all the sale orders hit. But if you're, say, selling every 2%, then how I like to do my orders, like normally you'd sell 100, 102, 104 and change, close to 107, close to 110, and so on. Well, after you hit 102 sell order, you basically put 104. But if you got them in advance for situations like this, how I would do it is, if I'm selling, say, at 102 here, and I got an order, instead of having one at 104, why don't I just do, like, say, one here? And maybe I would miss this. And in a spot where normal market action makes me have a sell order here, then what I would do is I would eliminate that sell order and just put another one up here and then move this for a big move play up to here. And basically go like 3 sell orders or 4 sell orders. So you would have a sell order at, say, 102 when you were at 100, that is. And then maybe one again at, say, 109 maybe. So that's about a 7% a 7% move almost. And then again at maybe 140. And then maybe again at, say, 300. And you're never usually going to hit these. And then you get to the spot where you sell this 102. Well, now you're going to maybe have another sell order at 104, maybe move this up to 112, and just keep these ones as intact. And then you sold at 102, you put your buy order in, maybe you're at 99.25. And just all the buy orders down below. So that's probably what I should be doing here within this. I do hope this goes overall. But you know, I said in a few videos before, I really don't know what I want, and I still don't. Whether this thing just keeps on going like way higher now, or this goes way lower to 3,000 now, and then I go more aggressively and cash out all my quote-unquote shorts. But I think I'm going to pass on trading Litecoin against the dollar right now. I don't want to sell anything, that is, to fiat until much higher prices. The last time I sold Litecoin was like 130. So I'm already still waiting to quote-unquote cover those shorts. Now, the one code in which I was able to get that transaction I was telling you about was against Ripple, crossed against BNB. And this is what it was. But this was sweet. Because that strategy that I talk about, well, I guess it's not short term. I'm not playing for 2%, 5% moves here. I'm playing for larger. But I had like a normal next hit one come in, and I literally got close to this top. That was sweet. And then I bought them. I think I made a mistake here. I bought everything I would have normally bought back. I think that was a mistake. Definitely buying this back was the right play. I think I should have bought half of it now and half later. For what it's worth, I'm glad I did, because it's in an uptrend right now since. Let's move on to the next one, however, which would be NEO. And it too is doing the same thing, had its 15-minute move. Something like this, I'd be looking to buy at 38.40, stop it under 37.60. So you're looking at about 2% stop loss differential. Price objective into about 41, 40 and change, 40 and 2/3. That's a difference of about 6-7%. Am I overall enthusiastic about playing something like this in a downtrend? No. No. So I'm going to have to think again. Most likely, you put your buy orders in here. If you just look at playing this range, you're buying at 37, selling at like 38, 39. That's like 6-7% moves. They can add up to good profits on the long term when you keep doing this, especially when you look at how many trades did you make this week? 7, 8. How many trades did you make playing a strategy like this year? Oh, a few hundred. You can get good results by doing such an event. And also, when you think, I probably should, just even for something to do as well, play a couple of these codes even now. Because if I talk about, oh, I think it's going to go way down and then way up, then mathematically speaking, if I have that thought that that's going to be the case, and you're right, let's just assume it does something like, say, this. If it does anything in the nature there, you realize that if I start now and I look at my portfolio trading this at the bottom, that I'm going to be losing, and I would have been better off just waiting and buying down here. However, one way of looking at it is, if you don't know it's going to make this move, but you're confident in something on the long-term time frame, that when you get here in price point, you will be much better off trading this at $39 than you are now at $39. And then when you come back here to 39, after buying down here and selling just a few trades in there, you would be in better shape again. So that's one way that I'm looking at this as well, if I want to just get into a couple of these right now. But I look at NEO as far as here, that's failed breakdown status if it bottoms there. So I still think there's a little bit of downside action on this. Next up is Ontario, ONT. And what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to now correct myself and tell you what the actual correct name is, because I don't know what the name is. And it didn't tell me here. And I'm not going to look because I don't care. Okay, and why don't I care? Because I care about the numbers. I care about the patterns and stuff like that. That's what I care about. So like all the other ones, this one having its move higher, breaking through, and we look at stuff like the moves that it's had before. This here was going from 6 to 680, a little over 10%. If you thought you were overextended here and you bought, this is a spot where it ended up working. I still would rather play buy order and sell orders and just be an active beaver on this day. And situations like this would be like, okay, I have a sell order here, say at 625. And I talked about that strategy where if you're selling every 2-3%, you make 3 or 4 more sell orders, but much greater amounts each time, knowing that you're only going to be playing those as if moves like this occur. Because if I'm planning on, say, selling at 625 and then again, say, at 635, I'm not going to have a second sell order in immediately there. But if I say sold here, I'd put a buy order in for maybe 611 and a sell order in for maybe 637. And so on and so forth. But you'd see that 637 would take no time at all to hit. Now say I missed this. I would have had from before maybe a sell order here and maybe a sell order here. And then a couple above obviously not hitting. And that's one reason why I want to have, if I'm a 5% player, meaning I want to sell every 5% move higher, so I have the move here. The next one to be much, much higher than that, so I get a better deal. So instead of selling 1 unit here and 1 unit here, whatever, I can sell like 2.04 units at a much better price. That's one way I would look at it for position sizes. I'd have much larger sell numbers here, and then one, and so on and so forth, going higher. And seeing the up and down moves, I don't know if I want to get into this yet. I'm going to take a look at this for the long term. The long term for the first time. This is all they got. And I don't even want to calculate Fibonacci retracement here, which is high divided by low to the root of the 38.2 and all this, because I don't even know how genuine this high happens to be. Now, if I had some of this, I'd be looking at Fibonacci upside. I'd be looking at this high to this low and selling on some sort of leg higher. But I'm not playing this. Let's move on to the next code. And that would be QTUM. QTUM. Q2. Try saying that 10 times fast, and I'm not gonna. And on this 15-minute time frame, its decline was from 1070 down to 10, so that's about a 7% push down, getting some of it back, doing what the other ones are doing. It's pretty safe to see for me. I haven't seen Bitcoin in a while. Half hour maybe. What do we got? Yo, more than a half hour, because I'm even pausing the tape now and again. It's not a tape. I lived in the 1980s, so I will always say a tape. And the big choppy moves, I'm gonna only presume it's not gonna look nice on the daily, and it doesn't. For I like to buy when it's low, so you think, oh, buy. Yeah, but I also want to be where the approximately leg lowers are. This is a big area of support here in the $12 range. It's only at 10 and change. These type of moves seem to be over, but if you had your buy orders in here, congratulations. I'd be looking to fill some of this gap down towards here. I'm not going to do anything more with this chart. I'm done with this chart for now in this video. TRX. There's a good chance I'm going to trade this one on here. And its daily time frame is resisting its 18. There's not much data here. Single hour time frame. Oh, upside Fibonacci. Maybe. 3 hour. I'm probably going to, I got funds on Bittrex. I could move this over to Binance and then trade it from here. Notice that the market again does what it does. And that's what when you come back to where you come from, and it's a scary thing to do. But you see this breakout happen. Instead of buying on the way up, if you did put a buy order here, the play is working. Now your stop would have been probably down towards here. And if you're playing the rising stop game, and you notice now that it's having this move, maybe you can consider your stop. There's 3 different places that I like in here. The most aggressive, below this level of support. And you can even start it there too. The second one is now below where you bought it. And the third one is, I mean, if it comes back down here, you pretty much would think it's game over for this play. But if you bought here, I'd be looking for an upside target, and I may even sell here at this point myself. I got a high at 50.052. I'm just going to say the 520 handle. And I got a low at the 454 handle. Upside target of 565. Which would mean in here, not a bad price target. Yeah, I'm going to put a sell order here. It coincides with this area where it came from. So I'm going to be transferring coins over here and put a sell order there at that price. Which means there's only two left. I'm going to look at the TUSD quickly, but I'm not going to expect anything great there. XLM and XRP. They didn't show XRP, but this is all I could show on the print screen, and there's only one more they didn't show. And with the TUSD, you know, you can get small percentage gains, especially on the lower rake here, but I'm not going to do it. XLM is moving really nicely as it is broken down from the 22 and change, well, let's say the 225 handle to 234 handle. So that's a good 4% or such. It's now up to this area for which it came from, the starting point. But when you look at these moves again, I mean, I would just be more apt to put buy and sell orders in. 3-hour time frame, going a little symmetrical. But I really need to see it get out above here to have some conviction that it can fill some of this space in here. But it's also getting to the term. I know this is a war term, and it's really not really. It's decision day, based on the definition that something, a big critical event is due to happen very, very soon. That I have used a term where something big soon should happen since I started trading of the D-Day form right in here. I remember making that term up for myself back in 2009 or even 2008. And finally, Ripple. And I don't even know if I want to use Ripple on this because I already shown you the great move that occurred on the exchange. But this is doing the same thing here. You get this move? That wasn't real. Even this move wasn't real. If you were fast here, if you were fast, congratulations. I mean, it's not the greatest of gains, but it's a one free gain. You have it go up to, say, 54, buy back immediately or within the next period at 52, and it's a free sale. I mean, it's such a short-term move. But again, with all of these codes, big up move, a little bit of consolidation via price and or time, and that's all that's been going on in here. So I got only 2 plays. That's what I wrote for myself because I wouldn't remember or I'd have to watch my own long video over again. The fact that you're watching this long video is even 10 of you, if that's all that are watching it, it's just, that's magnificent. Because the pressure of if I was ever do anything like just do like a lecture hall and having like 100, 200 people looking at me, that would be like, wow, that many people want to see me. That's cool and scary at the same time. But with all this choppy market in here on Ripple, of course, a lot of this has been in a downtrend. I'm going to go more aggressive chopping around with this, I think, later on. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.